Bzzzzz. Bzzzzz. Shirou let out a small groan as he heard his alarm clock going off. As he did, he then turned it off and rose from his sleep, letting out a yawn as he was slightly awake. As he was slightly drowsy, it was then he overheard a voice. Oniai-chan. Wake up. It's time for school. Are you listening to me? Emiya said. HM? Yeah. I'm awake, Emiya, Shirou replied. Emiya let out a sigh. Then hurry up. We're all waiting for you, she said before she left. Shirou let out another yawn before he got out of the futon and left his room, heading towards the kitchen/living room. As he arrived, all his family members were there. Shirou. Where were you? Mom has been waiting here for quite a while. Your brothers already started cooking, you know. Irisbiel said. Is there something wrong, Shirou? Kuritsugu asked. HM? Oh, it's nothing, Shirou replied as he soon went into the kitchen. Hey, you overslept again, huh? Emiya asked with a smirk. Seems so. Were you trying to do something with spare pipes? Emiya Alter asked. Shirou let out a groan. Shut up. I was studying. Anyways, I hope all of you have fun in Chaldea Academy today. Irisbiel said with a smile on her face. Yeah. Shirou said as he let out a yawn. Kuro let out a sigh. Are you still sleepy, Oniai-chan? Don't tell me you stayed up doing something in your private time. Saitonai teased. Shirou chuckled for a bit. It's nothing like that, Saitonai. Miyu let out a sigh. Mel, you should sleep earlier, Oniai-chan. Then you would not be having any sleeping problems. Sorry, Miyu. Anyways, breakfast is ready, Shirou replied. At that moment, Emiya, Kuro, Saitonai, Miyu, and Irisbiel's eyes sparkled. Yay! Breakfast. Soon, Shirou, Emiya, and Emiya Alter brought out dishes of food for them to eat and placed them on the table. As they did, they then sat down at the dinner table too. Itadakamasu, they all said in unison. And then they all ate their breakfast together happily. After they were done, Shirou, Emiya Alter, Emiya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu went into their rooms to get dressed and prepared themselves for the day. Here we are. Chaldea Academy. Emiya exclaimed excitedly as she, along with her siblings, arrived at the gates of the academy. The academy itself looked like it was a combination of an elementary school building and a high school building with a huge field of flowers in front of the academy, surrounded by a gate and walls. On the side of the gate was a black plaque that said, Chaldea Academy, in gold thin letters. Shirou let out a small sigh as he looked at the academy in front of him. Even after looking at it many times, the sigh still amazes me. Oniai-chan. What are you waiting for? Class is about to start. Kuro yelled, snapping him out of his thoughts. Upon hearing Kuro's words, he immediately snapped out of it and went along with her words. Yeah, you're right. Soon, the group went into the school grounds, where they were about to be separated to their classes. Okay then, see you after school, Oniai-chan. Emiya said. Yeah. I'll see all of you after school. Shirou replied. Soon Emiya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu soon headed towards the elementary school building while Shirou, Emiya, and Emiya Alter headed towards the high school building. As they were walking in their classes, both Emiya and Emiya Alter went to their separate classes, leaving Shirou alone to walk to his classroom. However, he was soon not alone anymore. Senpai, a new voice said. Shirou turned around to see Parvati, who was wearing a female version of the high school uniform he was wearing. Ah, Sakura. Parvati let out a smile. Good morning, Senpai. Did you sleep well last night? Why yeah. I see. Anyways, see you later in class senpai, she said as she soon left for her classroom. Shirou let out a small smile as he realized he needed to go to class as well. As he arrived, he looked at his classroom, which consisted of all the servants from the Holy Grail war he was in, which included Arturia, Medusa, Medea, Siyu, Hercules, Sasaki, and Gilgamesh. Not only that, but Ishtar, Parvati, and Astrea were there as well. And the teacher? Jaguar Man. Ha 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 ha. Today as usual, I will bless this classroom with my greatness. Gilgamesh yelled. Oh, shut up Gilgamesh. Siyu yelled. Rara. Hercules yelled. Arturia let out a sigh. You guys yell too loud. Ishtar and Astrea were glaring at each other while Parvati was watching them nervously, and Medusa, Medea, and Sasaki stayed silent. Shirou let out a sigh. Well, looks like things are chaotic here as usual. Alright. Everyone shut it for 1 second. Class is about to start soon. Jaguar Man yelled. Shirou then headed towards the empty seat that was in front of Arturia, which happened to be his seat as well. As he sat down, Arturia started a conversation with him. Hey there Shirou. You don't look so good, she said. Shirou let out a sigh. You too, huh? Well, I did stay up a bit late last night studying. Arturia sighed as well. Shirou, you need to take care of yourself more. Or else your body will break down soon. I understand. Japanese language. Alright. Today we'll be staring with language, she said. Jaguar Man yelled. The class then began with Jaguar Man teaching first period language. While some people were paying attention to the lesson like Shirou, Arturia, Ishtar, Parvati, Astrea, and Medusa, others seemed to be doing their own thing. For example, Gilgamesh was just playing a handheld game behind his book, Medea was drawing Arturia from across the room, Siyu was just looking at the sky, and surprisingly, Berserker was doing nothing. Soon, the lesson was over, and the entire class was on break. Shirou let out a small sigh of relief that nothing bad has happened yet. Because in an instant, Astrea got out of her seat and immediately went up to Shirou's desk, and immediately dropped a giant bento box on him, confusing him. Shirou, this is for you. Astrea said proudly. Eh? For me? Shirou asked. Yeah. This is a reward for all of your hard work throughout in this academy. I see. However, it was then Ishtar decided to barge into the conversation. Hey! Quit spoiling him like that. He's going to get weak if you keep doing this. Huh? Spoiling? It's rewarding him for doing hard work here. Unlike what you do, you useless goddess. At that moment, Ishtar got mad. Oh, that is it. And the two began to fight. Social studies class. And thus, King Arthur was known as a legendary hero in all of Britain as he performed many great deeds, Merlin said as he was done reading a history textbook. Huh. You called that a king? He sounds weak. Gilgamesh scoffed. Arturia groaned. Gilgamesh, just shut up for once. Sensei, was he really a good king? Siyu asked. Well, I guess in a way, yes. Why? Merlin replied. Well, in Irish myth, Arthur was not a hero at all. He was nothing but a thief. That made Arturia mad, and she turned to Siyu with an angry look on her face. Huh? Siyu raised his hands in defense. Hey! Don't be mad at me. The Irish myth said so. And I'm not trying to piss you off. Shirou let out a sigh. This is not going to end well. Arithmetic class. Alright. Today's math lesson involves all of you using laptops for charting, so grab on from the desk, Tesla said. Everyone in Class 2A then took a laptop from the nearby desk and began the lesson. As the lesson went on in time, Shirou noticed that Ishtar was having a disgruntled look on her face. "Damn it, just what is going on with this thing?" she mumbled in anger. Shirou let out a sigh. This must be Ishtar's unlucky day. Meanwhile, Tesla looked at Ishtar and let out a sigh as well. "Shirou, can you help Ishtar with her laptop? She seems to be having a problem with it." Ishtar heard Tesla's words and replied, "Huh? I don't need any help, Tesla." "Really? Can you make a chart in front of me now?" Ishtar was silent for a moment. "Well, exactly. So Shirou, can you help her for a moment?" "Fine." Shirou then went over to Ishtar's desk. For a moment, Ishtar blushed slightly before starting the conversation. Just as you know, I think this laptop is busted. It's giving me weird images." "Really?" Shirou asked as he checked her laptop to see if there was any problems, which there were none. There seems to be no problems, that's why." "Emiya-kun? Ishtar, I think I may know the source of your problems." "Really? What is it then?" "Well, you were using the wrong settings on the program." Ishtar was speechless. Science class. Medea looked at her science textbook with interest. There's so many minerals and herbs that even I have never heard of before. This could be interesting. I could make many things out of them." So things like this exist under the ground we live in. Interesting." Medusa thought with interest. Meanwhile, Siu and Hercules were having a hard time with their textbooks. "Huh? Photosynthesis? H2O? Carbon dioxide? What are these things? Rarag." Meanwhile, Shirou looked at Siu and Hercules, who were clearly showing signs of confusion on their faces. "Oh boy. Looks like those two are not good with this." Senpai, is this answer correct?" Parvati asked as she showed him a question. Let me look," he said. He read the question before giving his verdict. "Yeah, that answer is correct." Parvati let out a smile. "Thank you, Senpai." Lunch break. It was lunchtime and Shirou felt exhausted from attending class. Heck, even first period was hard for Shirou to deal with. Right now, he was sitting at a table alone, eating his meal. Wow, classes have ended, and I'm already exhausted from all the craziness that happened earlier. Also, I can't believe Astria gave me a large bento box, even though I brought my own," he thought. As he was eating his meal, it was then a certain someone was in front at one of the empty seats. And that certain someone was Fujiwara Ritsuka. "Hey, can I sit here?" Ritsuka asked. "Yeah," Shirou replied, allowing him to sit on the chair in front of him. "Thank you," he said as he sat on the empty chair. "My name is Fujiwara Ritsuka of Class 1A, Ritsuka greeted. Shirou then greeted himself as well. "Emiya Shirou of Class 2A. So you're my senpai, huh?" "I guess so. Anyways, how was your day here?" Let's just say, it was crazy." Shirou let out a sigh. "You too, huh? Really? Your day was crazy too?" "Yeah. During the end of my first period class, one of my classmates gave me a giant bento box as a reward for my hard work, and another of my classmates did not like that, thus causing a fight between the two. Then in social studies, a fight nearly broke out over differences of myths. Someone couldn't use a laptop in arithmetic class, and two people were confused over basic science lessons in science class." Ritsuka let out a chuckle. "Wow. That sounds like crazy to me." "Yeah. How about you? Well, my first day here got me the attraction of, well, 3 stalkers, but I did make a friend in the process. Shirou was stunned for a moment as he did not have any words to say. Eventually, he continued with the conversation. I see. Anyways, good luck with your first day here. Chaldea Academy can be quite crazy here, he said with a chuckle. I can see that, Ritsuka replied as he got out of his seat. Anyways, have a nice day. Yeah. You too. Ritsuka soon left, leaving Shirou alone. For a while, he was alone at the table he was at, until he saw a familiar person coming over. Arturia. Hey Shirou, can I sit over here? She asked. Sure, Shirou replied, allowing her to sit by an empty seat next to him. As she sat down, she let out a sigh as she placed her head into the ground. Let me guess, Gilgamesh again? Arturia nodded. Yup. He keeps coming after me. Shirou let out a sigh. You want some of the food from the giant bento box I got earlier? Arturia turned her head and nodded again. Yes please. Shirou let out a smile as he opened the bento box. Here. Home economics. Shirou let out a small sigh as he felt like everyone was watching him with stares, especially the girls. Why? Simple, the home economics teacher was completely fallen for his cooking. It also did not help that some of the girls tried out his cooking, having comments on how good a chef he is or how he is husband material, making the boys jealous. Well, I should have known this was going to happen, but not to this much of an extent. As Shirou was going through his thoughts, he heard the door to his classroom open. When the door opened, it revealed multiple students from other classes, some including ones that he knew. Shirou sighed again. It's that effective? It was then that Nero, who happened to be one of the students, took a bite out of one of the dishes Shirou made. As she took a bite, she let out a smile. Umu. This dish is good, Emiya Shirou. As expected of my praetor. You deserve to be my personal chef. At that moment, Nero's last words made the boys even more jealous than before. Arts. Okay, this is a position I did not expect myself to be in. Shirou thought with a sigh. Right now, Shirou was in arts class, and he was posing for other students as reference material for today's class. Alright students. Remember this, art is never finished, only abandoned. Make sure to never leave out any detail that makes your drawing abandoned. Da Vinci said. Da Vinci, is it really necessary for me to do this? I mean, you do have a sculpture, right? Shirou asked. Hey, sadly no. I forgot to bring the sculptures for today's lesson, so I had to do this, Da Vinci replied. Plus, you lost the draw, remember? So don't complain. Shirou sighed. Yeah. Hey. Don't move, Shirou. I'm trying to draw your leg here. Jean Dark Alter yelled. Shirou then stood still upon hearing Jean Dark Alter yelling. After a few minutes has passed, everyone was done with their drawings of Shirou. Alright, now that everyone is done, let us all see them. Da Vinci said. Soon, everyone began to show Da Vinci their drawings. Da Vinci went through all of them, showing her usual happy expression as she checked with every drawing. Soon, she reached Jean Dark Alter's drawing, and she became ecstatic. Oh my! Did you draw this Jean Dark Alter? Why yeah, it's probably not good, isn't it? Jean Dark Alter said. Not good? This is amazing. I'm pretty sure Shirou would love this. Hey Shirou, look at this. Jean Dark Alter blushed for a moment. Huh? Don't tell him to come over here. HM? What is it? Shirou asked before he got to where Jean Dark Alter's drawing were. As he looked at it, he was amazed. You drew this? Why yes. Shirou let out a smile. It's not bad, Jean Dark Alter. Oh really? She asked with a blush. Yeah. Jean Dark Alter turned away for a moment before continuing the conversation. Well then. If you like it, then I'll keep it then. Shirou was confused with her words while Da Vinci let out a smirk. And in some case, the attention of jealous students. Physical education. Alright, we'll be doing the high jump for today's lesson. Everyone, I expect all of you to do your best in this. Now get in line in order. Leonidas yelled as he was wearing a sweatshirt and pants along with a jacket. Soon, students were lining up for the high jump. Alright. Robin Hood. Go. As Robin Hood ran for his attempt, memories came back into Shirou's mind. The high jump, huh? It's been a while since I've done that, although I did suck at it. Now that I mentioned it, I wonder why did I do that in my past? As time passed, most of the students did their attempt at the high jump and eventually, it was Shirou's turn. Emiya Shirou. It's your turn now. Hearing his name being called upon, Shirou readied himself in a lunging position and then began to run. As he got closer to the bar, he then twisted his body and jumped to the best of his abilities. The result was that he managed to get over the bar and landed on the foam mat safely. Okay. Good job, Emiya Shirou. Leonidas yelled with approval. Shirou let out a sigh. Well, looks like I managed to succeed this time. Little did Shirou know that his high jump had a side effect he did not expect, which was the girls around him were watching him, including the ones inside the buildings. Archery club. Shirou was in a shooting position with a bow as he was pulling on an arrow before letting it go, making it fly and hitting the bullseye target. Everyone in the archery club clapped at Shirou's achievement and Jaguar Man let out a smile. Great job, Shirou. Nice shot with the bow. With this, we'll be able to win the championship, she said with pride. Shirou let out a breath of air. Yeah, he said as he began to sit down on an empty seat. Alright. Tomo, you're up. Follow him with your passion. Jaguar Man yelled. Yes. Tomo replied as she got off her seat and propped herself with the bow and arrow. Meanwhile, Shirou looked at the many people who were in the archery club with him, which were unsurprisingly, archers from Chaldea. He let out a sigh. Wow, everyone in the club here is an expert on archery. I think this club will win every archer competition. Kendo club. Emiya Shirou. Okita Tsuji. Come over to the middle, the kendo teacher yelled. Soon, both Shirou and Okita went to the middle of the arena with their headgear on and readied themselves with shinace. Ready, fight. Both Shirou and Okita came at each other, clashing with their shinace in their hands. They were swinging at each other and they were at it non-stop. None were able to land a hit on each other. Eventually, they were at a stalemate as they were standing towards each other. For a moment, nothing happened. Then both came at each other for one final strike. As they met each other, they swung at each other, with them landing on the opposite of their respective sides. It was then a voice was heard. Winner of this match is Emiya Shirou. Everyone in the room clapped as they all heard the results while Shirou and Okita took off their helmets. Good match, Shirou-san, Okita said. Yeah. Good match, Okita. Soon, both Shirou and Okita sat down on the floor in size form. As they did, they heard the door open. Sorry if I am late again, a new voice said. The kendo instructor groaned again. Not again, Musashi. Quit being late. Ehe, sorry, she yelled before she sat next to Shirou. Hello, Shirou-kun. Hello, Musashi, Shirou replied. The kendo instructor let out a sigh. Anyways Musashi, now that you're here late, your punishment will be to clean the halls afterwards. Eh? After club hours. Musashi let out a sigh. I can't believe that I'm cleaning the halls just for being late. She muttered. Shirou let out a chuckle. Musashi, that's what you get for being late. I know, but still though, why are you helping me? You didn't get in trouble. Well, I figured that I could use the exercise from cleaning the halls. Plus, I'm already used to this. I see. Musashi said as she began to clean the halls, with more motivation than before. Eventually, both she and Shirou were done cleaning the halls. Well, the halls have been cleaned up, Shirou said. Yeah. Thank you, Shirou-kun. Huh, the sun's almost setting soon, well, time to pick up Emiya and the others. He thought as he was walking down a hallway, looking at the sun that was setting down. As he was walking, he passed by Arturia. Arturia? Shirou, can you come with me for a moment? She muttered softly, allowing only Shirou to hear. HM? Yes, dash. Great. Come with me then, she said as she grabbed Shirou's arm and started to drag him. Eventually, she dragged him up to the rooftop of one of the buildings, where she let go of him and looked at the sunlight. For a moment, nothing happened between the two as they were looking at the sunlight. So, what do you want to talk to me about? Shirou asked. Well, thanks for the meal you gave me earlier. Arturia replied while not looking at him. No problem, Shirou replied. Silence occurred again. Is that all you want to say? If so, then I'll be leaving now, Shirou said as he soon began to walk away. However, Arturia stopped him before he could do so. Wait. Just hear me out for a moment. Arturia argued, making Shirou stay for a moment. Arturia let out a sigh before she continued the conversation. Shirou, how long have we known for each other? HM. Well, ever since middle school? Why? Shirou replied. Well, let's just say, that I love dash. Just hold on a damn moment, a bunch of voices said. Both Shirou and Arturia jumped upon hearing the voices and immediately turned around to see where the voices were. As they did, they saw Ishtar, Parvati, Astria, Nero, Jean Dark Altar, Okita, and Musashi, who happened to look at them with shock. Everyone? Shirou and Arturia said in unison. Hey! What is this development? Ishtar yelled. Getting ahead of me, you're quite daring, Arturia. Astria yelled. And using the middle school excuse? That's quite cheap. Plus, I've known him since childhood. Parvati yelled. Hey! I need him for drawing material. Jean Dark Altar yelled. No. I need him as my private chef. Nero yelled. Quit bothering Shiro-san. Okita yelled. No. I need to thank Shirou-kun now for his help from earlier. Musashi yelled. What the heck? How long were all of you here? Arturia yelled. Ever since we've been following you, they all exclaimed in unison. Arturia's jaw dropped for a moment but continued the conversation. Anyways, it's already my time to shine. Don't get in my way, she yelled. No way. I want to say something to Emiya-kun /senpai /Shirou /my creator /Shirou /Shiro-san /Shirou-kun as well, the girls said in unison. And as so, the girls began to fight among each other. Meanwhile, Shirou was in complete shock with the situation around him. Oh dear, this does not look good. And for some reason, it feels like it's about to get even worse. As if on cue, a sword was suddenly thrown into Shirou's direction, prompting Shirou to dodge. What the hell? Faker, a new voice said. Oh great! It's him. Out came of the door was Gilgamesh, whose face was filled with anger and jealousy. "What do you want, Gilgamesh? I don't have time for you," Shirou yelled. "Shut up. How dare to try to take one of my treasures away? For that, you have earned 1,000 deaths." Gilgamesh yelled as more swords came from behind him. "If it's about Arturia, then forget it. She's tired of you and your advances on her. I don't care. TCH, looks like he wants a fight. Well, I'll give him one then," he thought as he projected Concho and Bakuya within his hands. "Bring it on. As you wish, Faker." And the two began to clash, or so as you thought. "Wah!" Shirou yelled as he quickly rose from his bed, slightly panting as he was trying to calm himself down. Eventually, he calmed himself down before one thought came into his mind. What the hell was that dream? And why did I dream of that? He thought with shock as he was recovering from the dream he just had.